Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good day to everybody that will be tuning in to the show. You know, these people, they love to project their sins on you. They love to project their sins on you. They are using different vices, technology, and people believe their projection of their sin on us. They believe it. It is sickening out here. And this is why I have to move correctly. I can't be doing certain things that other people could do because it's too many people monitoring, waiting for me to slip up, as Brainwaves would say, or Ringo would say. They waiting to see if I'm falling apart. They waiting to see if I'll be homeless or have nowhere to stay. That's when they will all gang up on you when they see that you fall. And because none of that is happening, they do these kick stuff to try to get you out of your freedom. You know what I'm saying? They try to line you up on the internet. These narcissists projecting, they try to line you up on the internet, try to have everybody go against you because they sins. They want to project it on you. It's a lot of weirdos. It's a lot of sick people out here, y'all. And ladies, just be mindful. Be very mindful. Take your time getting to know someone before you consider that your man. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, take your time getting to know someone before you consider that your lady. Because a lot of people are projecting their sins on you. Whether it's a man or a woman, they're projecting their sins on you. And they will use other scenarios to project their sins on you. You know what I'm saying? They will do that. There's people out here that will do that, y'all. They crazy. And so that video last night of me and then Brainwaves coming on the platform, appreciate him from coming on. Definitely appreciate him for coming on and sharing his expertise to the audience that we can't move a certain way. And it's getting to a point that these people show you who they are. They can't let go. Their sins are so permanent that they try to project it on you. They're telling you about themselves. They don't want to be held accountable for their sins. They don't want to go and tell the Most High that they're doing this, they're doing that. They have to confess of their sin to you so that you, the viewer, could see it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's getting to a point, y'all, we just can't be around just anybody. The people have to be on point for us to even have a conversation with them because people are opportunists out here. They will use anything you say against you when they don't get their way. They flip out, they lose their mind on this internet, man. It's crazy, y'all. It's really crazy. And that individual, I removed that individual a year ago. People was like, give the person a chance. And I said, okay, all right. And then a couple of months back, I removed that person off the chat, and they got another individual who I believe they related. They be sending massive accounts. I just be blocking them because I know who it is. And I don't entertain them because what happens is they get too comfortable and they think they got a place in your heart. They got a place in. It's a scripture told us to not entertain these people. Let me get that scripture. Let me get it off my phone real quick. That we're not supposed to entertain these people. Go, give me 1 second. Let me let me get it. Make sure I get the because when you because what happens is they gotta tell you who they are. Yet the Bible tells us what to do when we see them. It says in the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 27, neither give place to the devil, Verse 28, let him that stole steal no more. That's right. But rather let him labor, working with his hands, the thing which is good, right, that he may have to give him, that he may, Shalakia, that he may have to give to him that needeth, right. Verse 29, let not corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. That's very important. Verse 30, and grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Mm-hmm. We can't be dealing with these people. We can't be dealing with these entities, and they'll come with different photos, different outlets. They'll try to come in as peaceful, you know, people in the chat. They will come in as peaceful people in the chat, y'all. I'm telling you. And then they are vipers. They are vipers, you know. And so we got Galaxy in the house. How you doing, Galaxy? Good to see you, and good day to you as well. So it's like they come in and they talk like they really rock with you, and the whole entire time they scheming, plotting. That's Ringo would say they will scheme and plot, try to get you comfortable with them, and they will add their sense onto you. You got to be careful because you don't want to pick up that type of time. You don't want to entertain these people because what they'll do, they'll get comfortable and try to lower you into their trap, and the next thing you know, you caught up in some stuff that you have no business be caught up in because the Most High warned you and He gave you the sign and you ignored it. Some of you ladies, you see the sign with old boy, yet you still give it up to him, and he will use that against you. He will trauma bond you, and some of you ladies have been dealing with that trauma bond. You know what I'm saying? And so you got dudes out here that deal with trauma bond too, because the woman will go, and have conversations about you with her wicked friends. You know what I'm saying? That's why you can't entertain everybody, man. And one of the things I learned from a successful man when I was a young, you know, man, he told me, he said, Rob, you could have a lot of ladies, you'll still be poor. Whereas you have a lady or two, and if they're on point, that's better than having a lot of ladies and you become more poorer. And that's what he said. And he's telling the truth. A lot of you guys have to accept this, like I did. It doesn't matter how many ladies I dealt with. It made me poorer. It ain't make me successful. And this is the reason why now I'm to the point of my life that I just can't be dealing with just any woman just because they look like they have interest in me. I'm not the only guy they have interest in. And see, the more successful you become, even if you're not successful financially, your mindset, they could pick up on it and they'll try to take advantage of you if you allow it as a man. If you allow it, let's just keep it real. If you allow it. And so when these ladies said I didn't take care of them, I have receipts. I'm not I'm not a liar. That's why transition stuff is real. They can't say, "Oh, you never took care of me." I took care of them, and not only I was taking care of them, whoever they was dealing with was being taken care of too, because they wasn't taking care of me. And I'm not talking about, you know, sexting. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like really be there for me, support me in other ways, like a woman's supposed to. They wasn't doing that. They was doing that for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And we got Forever Studio in the house. What's up, Forever Studio? So we just having this conversation, yo, guys. Guys, we have to really, really look at ourselves today as men. You had many women, right, in your life. Did it make you successful or it make you poorer? And so it's like when I look at this whole thing, y'all, it made me poorer in the mindset of dealing with these women that I dealt with. And I allowed it. I allowed them to stay around longer than they were supposed to. And some men will try to work it out with women that don't want to work it out with you. And see, these narcissists will project their sins on you. They will project their faults on you. You got these weird men that's into you. They do things that are suspicious, that's suspect. So they could galvanize the other entities to have people stop rocking with your platform, to not listen to the truth, to not listen to the word. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. It's crazy out here, y'all. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy out here with these people. You know, I'm going to read it again. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 27. Neither give place to the devil. Verse 28. Let him that stole steal no more. That's right. But rather let him labor. Yeah, let him labor, working with his hands, the thing which is good, that he may give, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Yeah, you reap what you sow. So these entities going to have to give back to us what they have stole from us. Some of you are in the transition of getting back what your ex stole from you, or a woman you used to deal with that was your wife stole from you. Give it to somebody else. You getting back what belongs to you because you was moving righteously. You was a lot of you guys was doing right by your ex-wife. She stole from you. She used you. She manipulated you. And the Most High is restoring that. And you should give praises to the Most High. He's restoring what was taken from you. Give praises to the Most High that some of you men got the opportunity to get back your resources that you have taken care of somebody who didn't want you to take care of. Guys, I have realized this, and I'm glad to have this conversation with you because you could take care of a woman and she never love you. You could provide for the kids you deal with and she never love you. And it's like it's very hard to see that. Yet as time goes on, the Most High have to reveal this to you because that's what happened with me. A woman don't care about me. She cared about what I did for her. And I learned even if she has children or not, if she can't get what she really wants from me, she's going to find it for somebody else. It's very tough, man. It's very tough, y'all. And it's not to say that every woman is like this. It's just a simple fact. When you become more successful, you're going to get your answer. I keep telling y'all, fellas that's doing pretty good for yourself, or you working on becoming great, you don't know the woman until you become great. And that's what Alpha Male Strategist was saying. And he's telling the truth. You don't have to like Alpha Male Strategist. You don't have to like his tonality. He's in that world that he knows what he's talking about because he's in that world. See, let's just say you're a guy that you don't have that much money coming in, a woman is going to be all over you. No woman could tell me I'm lying. No woman, even the respectable ones I have in the chat, they know I'm telling the truth. When that man becomes very successful, and he don't have to be a millionaire, he just successful with people, connections, business. He has what it takes, even though he's not even a millionaire. He could be in the six figures. He could be in 40, 50,000 range, 5-figure salary. He could be a 5-figure salary guy. And he has a lot more connections than most six figures and most millionaires. right? When a woman see that, guys, the potential, listen to what I'm saying, the potential, you're going to see her true nature. A lot of you have not seen a woman's true nature when you was working at Burger King and McDonald's, respectfully. You're not going to see her true nature. Matter of fact, she's going to be more into you than when you become a welder, a lawyer, a judge, or a high-ranking official office. And man, these ladies will play games with you. How many of you that's very successful, you notice women's play games with you? Put a 5 in the chat if I'm talking to you. Put a 5 in the chat if I'm talking to you. You became very successful. The Most High opened doors for you. You didn't go and sell your soul to Satan to get the things that you have attained in life. And you got very, very successful. And this woman now all of a sudden changed her ways. That's what happened to me. If I was not successful, if I wasn't that important, then I would still be in a relationship with one of these ladies. You get my drift now. So unless she's coming from a well-off family and she's seen a true marriage from her dad and mom's, if she didn't see that, there's more of a chance that you're going to deal with problems as you become more successful as a man. You can't relax. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, my conversations with ladies are very interesting, and I keep it between me and them. At the same time, they know what I'm talking about. They know exactly what I'm talking about. It's true. There's no lady could say Rollo's lying. He's right. Because see, guys, you have more opportunity as a man when you get into certain circles. Some of you don't even realize that. You just think you're a regular 9 to 5 worker. No, you're not a regular 9 to 5 worker. Some of you are elite. You don't want to say you are. You are. You are. Some of you are. You're the star at your job. Well, whether you making 30, 40, 50,000 or you're making over 100,000 a year, you're the star. You have powerful people watching you. And so you got to be mindful of that because they could, put you onto things to see if they could trust you, with more money. And see, the more money you make, the more your circle becomes smaller and smaller. You just can't have everybody around you. You can't have family members and cousins and everybody coming to your house. Oh no, you don't want to do that. Let me show you something. Let me show you how serious this is. Because see, you're gonna realize, you have to realize you can't move just like an ordinary person when you start getting into bigger things. Not every woman you could call up and say, I want to get up with. No, I don't do that. People be thinking that just because I have certain conversations with certain women doesn't mean that, I'm trying to get with them on that level. No, I'm trying to see what they're about before I even decide to say, hey, let's get together. I may tell them I have interest in them because I know what they're going to do. Well, I got you on tape saying you have interest on me. I know you got me on tape saying you got interest on me. You don't think I don't think these women be recording the conversations? I know they do. So I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have interest in you. At the same time, they will take out the part where I say that if you're interested in me, reach out to me. If not, you're interested in another guy, then you're interested in another guy. See, they will take that part out. See, what these ladies will do with the tape is they will play the part of you showing interest. They won't play the part of you saying, if you're not interested in me, you're interested in another man, then so let it be. I'll let you be. They won't play that part. And that's why you have to protect yourself, fellas, because these ladies, man, they sharks, man. They sharks. Even on the internet, they will record a certain part of what you say. They won't record the whole thing. And that's how people use these videos and manipulate your channel. And people be believing it instead of going to the source. Like Ringo said, go to the source and hear the whole thing. No, people want to play what they want to play. So it's crazy out here. You can't win with these narcissists because they want to project their sins on you. They want you to fall on hard times. They want you to fall on hard times. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, they want you to fall on hard times. Hold on one second. Because I got some orders coming in. You know. I got some orders coming in. Let's see. What's going on? Did they get both orders? Okay, yeah, he got both orders. Okay. Okay, he got both orders. Now, y'all give me 1 second. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to get the clip before he gets here. Because he's almost here. Let's go to YouTube. Hit the like button on your way in. If you haven't supported the stream in a minute, if you want to hit the Cash App, hit the Cash App. You know the Cash App. If you haven't hit the Cash App in a minute, hit the Cash App or hit the Venmo. And I'm going to add those two things in a second. Let me tell you. This is crazy. This is how far they will go when they know you're doing well. All right. You got this 50-some-year-old Florida woman, right? She's a demon. His ex-wife is a demon. Okay? So she's a Florida woman from the west side of Florida, I may add. Well, according to records, she's from Alabama. She's an Alabamian. She's an Alabamian that moved to Florida. Yes, she's a Florida resident. Yes, she comes from Alabama. All right. We're going to play this clip. When I get things situated, we're going to play this clip here. All right. So it's a 24-minute video. We're going to go through the process of this. I want you to pay attention to this, of how far they're willing to go, how far these people are willing to go. And you got to be careful with your exes, your ex-wives, fellas. You got to be careful with them. This is why you have to have your receipts to protect yourself. You got to have these receipts to protect yourself, because once you find somebody else you're dealing with and they notice, okay, the person is here. They notice what's going on. They're going to use it against you. They're going to try to get you, in trouble. All right. So I'm going to play this for a couple of minutes and I'll be right back.
Open the door! Sheriff's office!
A Florida woman is in very deep trouble after police say she pretended to be an immigration enforcement officer so she could kidnap her ex's wife from her job. We were able to gather details about the suspect's background and how it supposedly led to her in a fake ICE shirt putting a scared and confused woman into her car. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey, so before we jump into this story, I want to talk to you real quick about the Law and Crime docket. Want to talk true crime news and some Law and Crime merch? This is your one-stop shop for all of the trending stories, thrilling body cams, and also an exclusive look at brand new shows and podcasts from the faces that you love. Sign up for our docket newsletter by scanning the QR code you see here or click on the link in our description and pinned in the comment right underneath this video. And at the beginning of June, we're going to pick 10 new docket subscribers and we're going to send them a Law and Crime hat. That's right. So winners are going to be announced in the newsletter. Hope you can check it out. Let's get back to the case. All right, this is certainly quite the story. On April 11th, deputies with the Bay County, Florida Sheriff's Office stopped a silver car and demanded that the driver, 52-year-old LaTrance Battle, get out. Body cam footage showing her arrest was recently released. Take a look.
All right. Hold on one second.
On the main 1033 on. Got it.
You see how she's playing games? You see how the narcissist is playing games, y'all? You see how the narcissist is playing games with the officers? The officers have to be mindful of these narcissists. You know, they deal with a lot of strange people. So you got this woman faking as an ICE agent to kidnap. Man, this is wild, man. This is wild, man. You see, Florida ain't playing with this, man. In other states, she would have got a slap on the wrist, more than likely. Florida, they don't play that. You're not going to play as an ICE agent to kidnap somebody because they're from another country and they're going about it legit. The husband have the paperwork. They're doing it the legit way. He's dealing with somebody from another country. That's his prerogative. You know, at the same time, this Alabamian Florida woman, because, you know, she became a Floridian. You know, she's from Alabama and she's acting crazy. She's playing an ICE agent to get that woman deported. And good thing that they looked into it and see that this lady was a perpetrator. They should serve her life in jail. She should not even get out for playing somebody she's not. And this is why I tell you guys, these ladies, like what alpha male strategists say, they very good actresses. Very good actresses. Because the more successful you become, the more of an actress these women play. Guys, how many of you will admit that your woman wanted to play a certain role when you became successful? If she didn't come with you through your low end, then how you expect to trust her with more things coming in your life? Let me tell you, man, something. If she is not coming from God, you're playing Russian roulette. Not every woman comes from God. Whoever told you that, you got a lot of learning to do. Because see, we as men learn a lot quicker than these ladies do when it comes to mistakes and accountability. Do not expect a woman to put herself in accountability like us. You're gonna be stressing yourself out. It's very rare a woman gonna hold herself accountability. She will take it to her grave, not being held accountable. Okay? Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. And you're gonna see it right here. If a man was playing a cop or if he was playing a fake agent, two things is gonna happen. He gonna act silly or he gonna run. Or he gonna be like, you got me. Just put the handcuffs on me. Don't waste these people's time. They got you on tape, man. Come on now. Let's go.
Open the door. Sheriff's office.
Roll your window down.
Open the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my car in.
Step out.
Step out.
Turn around, face the car.
Now, I want to know if the FBI agents, or the Hebrew Israelite camps is going to talk about her doing something evil. Oh, they will try to bail her out too. Don't be surprised you're going to have a dummy, because you have dummies. You're going to have a dummy ninja going to try to bail her out. even though she tried to line up her husband and his wife. Man, I tell you, man, people are desperate out here. Let's go.
You can't do nothing right now.
445 Bay, lift to channel 1015.
1823 out.
Air 1 copy.
So now the question is, how do we get here, right? Well, according to investigators, just a day earlier, on April 10th, LaTrance pretended to be an agent with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, and then allegedly kidnapped a woman who it turns out is her ex's new wife from her workplace, eventually driving her to an apartment complex before the victim could escape.
She drove her to her complex before the victim could escape because she was about to line her up. She was going to unalive her. She was going to have some goons. She had some goons on the payroll that she was going to pay to unalive this guy's wife. And fellas, let me talk to you something. Let me talk to you, fellas. You're going to be like, Rollo, you right. Fellas, let your woman know what type of women that are crazy you had in your life. If you don't do that, you're not a man of Yah. See, I let women know about crazy old girl just to be warned, because you know who I am, that there's certain women we got to watch out for. I will let her see the photo, and I will let her know that's who she is, who she's connected to. These are the people we got to watch out for. So when you out and about, if you see anything unusual, take photos, have docket information. Guys, do you know that you have to tell your woman this these days? It's not because of fear. And I'm not even in a relationship with a woman. I'm telling you, for those who are in a potential relationship with a woman you're interested in, you have to let her know about your ex-wife. You have to let her know about who she rocks with, if you know who she rocks with, because you may not know who she rocks with. She was going to line up this lady at her house. And you're going to have a lot of men try to bail her out. You're going to have a lot of simps will say, she's innocent. She had a reason to do that. If a man did this, oh my goodness, you will have the whole internet going crazy if a man did, which men do sick stuff like this too. I'm just saying. Why is it when the women do it, the women are quiet? Why the women are quiet? Why the women are quiet when it comes to a woman doing this to a man? Yet if a man does it, the women will be gone. Yeah, that's right. I'm fair and balanced. I call out both parties. Let's go.
Affidavit that was filed with a warrant for LaTrance's arrest lays out exactly what the victim claims happened in quite explicit detail. To talk more about it, to talk more about the elements of this case, I want to bring in criminal defense attorney and legal analyst Kesia Early. Kesia, so good to see you. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Great to see you as well.
So as you know, I'm probably made of a ton of questions when it.
Oh boy, you gotta watch out for her too. She crazy too. Those type of women, you gotta watch out. She got that face. I know Brainwaves is in the chat. He could tell you. These are the type of women I gotta watch out for. They crazy. Yeah, she got paper. She crazy though. She crazy. She got her husband in control. Man, they love these type of stories. Watch how she responds to what the woman is doing. Listen, there are women that got paper are crazy too. Not all of them. Some of them are crazy. She's crazy. You ain't gonna catch me with a woman like that. I'm playing Russian roulette, dealing with a bar like this. They into this type of stuff. Watch how she we watching it together. Watch how she responds to this. Pay attention to her habits.
It comes to this case, but I first just want to lay out a little bit of it and then get your take on it. So it's hard to know exactly what was going through the suspect's mind, but deputies got a rundown from the victim in this case. We're only identifying by her first name, which is Merica. Now, the deputy who wrote up the affidavit says that when he got in touch with Merica, she was shaking and appeared to be really afraid. Merica stated as she was working a Days Inn 435 Tyndall Parkway, the defendant, later identified as LaTrance Battle, walked in.
So she worked at a hotel, the woman in question that got kidnapped. She worked at a hotel. And I believe that the guy she's going to be married to illegally in the United States, you know what I'm saying, works there too. All right, let's go.
Wearing a black zip-up jacket, black pants, black hat, white face mask, and sunglasses. Merica asked LaTrance if she needed a room, and LaTrance responded she was here to pick her up. At that time, LaTrance unzipped her jacket, and that is when Merica noticed the word ICE across her chest printed on a black shirt. LaTrance also displayed a sheriff's office card identifying herself as ICE. Merica asked if she could call her boss first to let him know what was going on, and LaTrance allowed this. Now, according to Bay County deputies, Merica is in the process of obtaining U.S. residency, but because her status could be considered uncertain, she didn't know what to do. So, Casey, right off the bat, we've got some pretty obvious evidence that she's impersonating an officer, right? Wearing the shirt.
That's true, Fiber Studios. I agree with that. I do agree with that. And what's up going on, Italian Mamba? And what's up, Brainwaves? Salute. Let's continue.
Having some sort of badge, even before she takes Merica anywhere, presuming this is on a surveillance tape as well, that in and of itself is a crime, right?
Of course, of course. And we know the current climate now with the immigration issues. So the alleged victim in this case had every reason to believe that she was being detained by an ICE agent. And in this case, you have the defendant who did everything to make herself look as if she was an ICE agent. Like you said,
I'm telling you, man, there's a war going on, y'all. There's a war of jealousy going on amongst the women. You ladies got to be careful. You ladies got to be careful as well as the men. We know we got to be careful. You ladies got to be careful who you're talking with. It's a lot of entities. All right, let's continue.
she had ICE written across her chest, she had the radio, and she had the intent. And this is what that affidavit, the probable cause affidavit, spells out. So then, although she didn't have a gun, people think that, okay, you can't kidnap anyone without a weapon, but that's not the case. She utilized the guise of being to another location. And in this case, the alleged victim complied because we know that her immigration status was not secured. She was in the process of finalizing her immigration status. And
then she went at the Days Inn Suites out there in West Florida. That's West Florida, y'all. That's crazy, man. Woo.
And that's where this case gets kind of crazy, because she doesn't take her to a customs agent or to an office. She takes her to an apartment complex.
Yep.
And thankfully, the alleged victim gets away.
What a harrowing story, right? But look, this is definitely one we wanted to bring to you. And for that, I have to thank our incredible sponsor and partner, Morgan & Morgan, because it's with their support that helps us to make these shows. Now, this is America's largest injury law firm. You know why they're so big? Because they win a lot. In the past few months, Morgan & Morgan secured a $9.3 million verdict for a car crash victim in Florida, a $5.6 million verdict for another car accident victim in Atlanta, and impersonating law enforcement officers, federal officials, because there's one thing someone would say, if I pulled out a badge, right, they said that's not real, right? You know, people would might know. But you're targeting potentially a segment of the population, and then this is, you know, a one-off case, or maybe there's more, who might not be familiar really with what ICE agents look like, particularly if they're not from this country. And I just...
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. If you're going through the proper payments, jealousy, listen, guys, Don't you ever think that you exempt of a woman being jealous of you being with another woman. Because let me tell you something, guys, when she sees that you're doing very well and you have a woman that really into you, let me teach you something, guys. A lot of women don't want to admit this. When you have a woman that's into you, they get jealous of that. If the woman is not into you, they don't care. I'm gonna teach you one thing that's gonna make you know that you have the realest woman. How do other women respect the woman you with? If she goes behind your wife's back and tell you lies and you believe it as a man, bro, I'm gonna give you an example. I could be with a woman and another woman be like, you know that woman you with? And she could be whispering to me, I got proof she doing this, she doing that. And there's no proof. That's lies. Because a woman wants you when another woman has you. See, when you don't have nobody, the women play like they have no interest in you. The minute you have a woman that's into you, watch how all of them come out the woodworks and show you who they are. You gotta pick up the signs, y'all. Let's continue.
Just curious, generally speaking, in your practice, in your experience, do you see crimes of people impersonating law enforcement or federal authorities?
Oftentimes you see crimes of impersonation for law enforcement, not of ICE agents. And you raise a good point because typically ICE agents, there's no set uniform, right? Because they're usually undercover and they don't have a uniform look. So in this case, she didn't know. And again, she complied. But there was some history between the alleged victim and the defendant in this case. And the defendant had to be doing some research to know what her immigration status was.
So she did some research to know what her immigrated status was, of course, because she knows her ex-husband's, first and last name. She got his bank statements and all. Listen, these people will know your bank statements and all that. They can get a hold of your bank statements. That's why I told y'all, people be like, well, Rollo, why you don't got banks? It's not that I don't want banks. You got to understand that when you have a bank, it takes them a long time to give you back your money. With the online, it takes within 24 hours. With the bank, it takes about a month. What if you need that money? Lord forbid, what if you need that money? These are the things I think about. I'm not telling people not to get rid of their bank accounts. So don't come in my chat saying, Rollo, are you telling me to get rid of my bank accounts? No. I'm telling you, I'm not dealing with banks. Now, eventually, I'm going to have to, depending on what type of business I do, they may not want to deal with online business. That's something I will look into in the future. In the meantime, if I could avoid it, I will avoid it. Because, see, what if she took money from her, the guy's ex-wife? The ex-wife took money from his wife now that he's going to marry legally. What if she's taking money from him? What if she's extorting him? These things do happen, y'all, man. This is crazy. Let's go.
And we now know that the defendant in this case was the ex-girlfriend of the new husband of the alleged victim. And she has a lengthy history, a criminal history, as well as a no contact order here in Florida. It's a restraining order. So there's so many violations in addition to the criminal charges.
Wow.
Now, let me lay this out a little bit more because we do have a lot more details. So according to Merica, she went outside with LaTrance to this silver sedan, apparently the same one that we saw in that body cam video from when she was arrested. And the affidavit says LaTrance got in the driver's seat and instructed Merica to get in. Merica then got in the back seat on the passenger side. I confirmed with Merica that LaTrance never physically placed her in the vehicle, but she...
Oh, man, she was about to get her unalive. Thank the Most High that the authorities was on to it quickly. And they caught her before she was gonna unalive her in Alabama, y'all. Oh, man. She was going to unalive her in Alabama. And to be truthful, Alabama takes a long time to solve cases. You know what I'm saying? Upon my research. So I'm not saying you can't go to Alabama or Mississippi. They just have a long way of solving cases, cold cases, if that makes sense. She was going to unalive her, and then we would have had a lot of FBA people thinking it's so-called white people. This is why I tell you, you can't you can't listen to these ninjas, because if she would have got away with it, let's be real, a lot of people would have speculated it's white supremacy, because she would have dumped the body in a certain location. Yo, you got a lot of black devils. That's why I was telling Ethereum. Yeah, there's devils of other ethnicities. Yet, let's keep it real. Who's the biggest one? It's the people that look like us. You know what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to Ethereum. Go watch her platform. It's just, man, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy out here. Let's continue.
She was scared and didn't want to get in more trouble or have more ICE agents show up, so she got inside the vehicle. America stated as they were leaving, LaTrance advised she was taking her to the sheriff's office. Real quick, Casey, why does it matter how America got in the car?
Because it's the mindset of the alleged victim in this case. So in this case, America thought that she had to comply with the orders of this, quote, ICE agent. And so she did that. And then you have the belief that if she did not comply, she could be hurt. So she didn't know. If she truly believed that this was an ICE agent, it would be reasonable for the alleged victim to also believe that this ICE agent had a weapon, even though that weapon was never exposed. So that is the most important part. You have to get into the mens rea of what the defendant, the criminal act, the criminal intent of what the defendant was thinking during their actions.
And going back to that, you go back to the affidavit.
She got to do her part. I get it. She got to be biased, as an attorney. She got to be biased. She can't go in on the suspect. You can see she's a little bit pissed off because it's already a stigma on, the women of ethnicity in America. It's a stigma already. You're going to have a lot of people saying, see, this is why I don't deal with, the women in America. I'll get me a woman in another country. Now, another woman in another country ain't going, they not know, how can I say, they're not innocent either. However, the guy did find somebody more situated than this woman that's from Florida, Alabama, whatever the case may be. She looked like a man in that photo. I mean, yeah, Forever Studio, you're not lying about that. Some of them do be looking like that. Let's continue.
David, it reads, due to her still being scared and unsure of what was going on, Merica was trying to contact her lawyer. At some point, LaTrance reached in the back seat and forcibly snatched Merica's phone from her hands, depriving her of her iPhone 11. Merica also asked LaTrance several times during the car ride if she could have her phone back to call her husband and lawyer, but LaTrance told her no. And when they got to the sheriff's office, she could have her one phone call. Now, Casey, if alarm bells weren't going off before, I imagine they certainly are now, right?
Of course. And so not only does she have the kidnapping from the days in to the vehicle and then to the final destination, but now when the defendant in this case grabbed the victim's phone, you have the robbery by sudden snatching. So she's just multiplying the criminal charges based on her
That's a witch. That's a witch, y'all. You can't tell me this ain't a witch. I don't know what is going on with you guys. You give these masonry broads an opportunity to be in your life. I learned that myself, and they ain't worth it, man. Get you a woman that's on point, man. The sinister. We got to look at this entity. The sinister, disgusting
actions. And again, we don't know what was in the alleged victim's mind during this interaction. She has never been apprehended by ICE agents. She's complying, but she's complying based on the fact that she believes that this is a lawful authority. So at this time, she's complying to someone who she believes is a lawful authority.
Now, the deputy writes in this paperwork, I asked Merica if she believed LaTrance was an ICE law enforcement agent, and she confirmed she did. Merica also told me LaTrance had a handheld radio and was talking on it to who she assumed was other ICE agents. So it seems to be pretty elaborate. And this is where things take a really weird turn. Quote, I asked Merica if LaTrance was making any threats or saying anything while they were driving to their destination, and she stated LaTrance kept talking bad about Merica's husband and how Merica now has to suffer the consequences of her husband's actions.
Ooh, man, oh man, oh man. This is a lot to cover. We're gonna have to do a part 2 to this, once we get to the hour mark, because yeah, it's a lot to cover. I know it's a 24-minute, 46-second video. We're gonna have to do a part 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? Look, guys, you got to make sure you have receipts. Just about anything you could think of in this day of time, 2025 and beyond, because man, it's a good thing that she knew something wasn't right later on and she got away, because she would have been unalive and the body would have been dumped in Alabama, and it would have been spin around with these FBA and Hebrew Israelites, all these force camps where they say, see, you see, they're saying it's not white people didn't do this. No, it was a woman that did it, an entity. Yet they're gonna protect the black Karens. They're gonna protect the black Karens. They're gonna protect her. You know that. You know these guys, these individuals. They get with women like that. They won't talk about this. They want to talk about us doing things we don't do. Yet they won't talk about this. They won't talk about this demon from Florida that's from Alabama, came to Florida with her sin and project on her ex-husband, right? Because he moved on. He found out she was a demon. She was a witch. And he found somebody that's reasonable. Oh, she don't like that. That's what these witches do, y'all. Put fear in your woman that you currently with.
Now, LaTrance's behavior reportedly got even more bizarre as they neared their destination, which it turns out wasn't the sheriff's office, but it was the apartment complex where LaTrance lived. And the paperwork continues. As they were coming over the Hathaway Bridge, LaTrance told Merica ICE would be waiting for them at these apartments. LaTrance then backed in and parked in front of Building 3 of the Bridge Plaza apartments. Merica began to become even more frightened because she was unsure why she was taken back to an apartment. LaTrance then got out of the vehicle and went to an unknown apartment. When she came back, she instructed Merica to get out of the car and go to room 108. When Merica got out, she noticed LaTrance walk to her trunk and slightly open it. When Merica peeked in the trunk, she could see what appeared to be a clear tackle box and other stuff she could not make out. LaTrance then closed the trunk and ran to the apartment. Merica stated she heard LaTrance inside of the apartment making a lot of noise, like she was moving stuff around or talking to someone, so she used this opportunity to leave.
And that's the great thing, that she did that at the right time, because she was about to get unalive at the apartment complex and nobody would have known what was going on, you know what I'm saying? And she would have had the body in the car and took it to Alabama. And it's no disrespect to Alabamians and people in Mississippi. We just know, from those who's from Alabama and Mississippi, that it takes a long time for them to solve the case, because it's a thing with Alabama and Mississippi. From what I know, if you have no business being out there, don't get yourself caught up out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. There's certain parts of Alabama I would not go to, and there's certain parts of Mississippi I would not go to. Just like in Georgia, I would not go to certain parts of Georgia. You could say, oh, Rollo, you're in fear. No, it's not about being in fear. It's about being on point. You know what I'm saying? If the Most High don't want me in certain places, I'm listening to what the Most High say, not what man say, not what women say, not what children say, not what family say. If the Most High want me in a certain location, that's because he want me in that location. He's protecting me. He's protecting me from whatever scenario is going on. Because I'm here for a purpose. I just can't move in certain locations like most people can. Because if I go against the Most High, that's going to be a problem. And he's not going to play with me. So, yeah, Forever Studio, yeah, Brainwaves. Exactly. Yeah. This happens all the time. Unfortunately, they're definitely turning around. Yeah, they would. Let's continue.
Kesia, your thoughts on that?
Thankfully, she did. You can just tell by the actions of the defendant that there's something going on mentally for her to go through this elaborate plan, but yet not execute it properly. You go through all of this to impersonate an ICE agent, and then you take her back to your location. And typically, as a defense attorney, when we see that the evidence is overwhelming, I'm just looking at the allegations in this case. The first thing I would do is order a competency evaluation, because clearly this is not what someone in the right state of mind would do. Whether or not this was a broken relationship, we know that it was severe enough that her ex-boyfriend had to take out a restraining order. The next thing I would do is to see if there's some mitigation factors, if there was some previous.
Men don't have no protection when it comes to women. This is why I say to the fellas, man, you got to put your differences to the side for this, man. Look, guys. How can I say this? Getting a restraining order from a woman, it's going to make her do worse things to you. And I do agree, don't come in my chat comment section, ladies, and say that men don't get worse when you do a restraining order. Yes, I know that. Yet y'all cover up the women that get restraining orders from men. Y'all won't say nothing about this. They get worse too. Both parties could get worse with restraining orders. Let's not do this one-sided thing. Yes, there are men out there that they can't take rejection. When are you women going to say, you know what? You're right, Rollo. You're right. I can't take rejection either. When is the woman going to say that? Because men, we get rejected more than you do. So that's why you get surprised when a man tell you no. Do you want me to get videos from white women, black women, so-called black women, white women, who's taking it hard when a man don't look at them at the gym, a man don't look at them at the job? These women have hissy fits. They had 1,000 men saying you got a nice body. You don't say it, she got a problem. You don't say she looking good, she got a problem. She want to line you up. That's what I'm saying, man. Women can't take rejection like men can. I agree, ladies. I agree that some men can't take rejection from you. You have to give him a fake number or a fake Instagram so he could leave you alone. I get that part. Y'all don't know how many times I had to tell a woman no. I don't talk about that. It's very, very true. Brainwaves probably had to tell women no. Y'all be thinking that y'all don't realize how much we go through, man. I don't like to talk about everything because people like to use that against me. Oh, you have women coming after you? Of course. And I told them, no, I'm not interested. And they keep trying and trying and trying and trying. Once a woman tell me she's not interested in me, I just let her be. You know what's the crazy part? I'll let her be. And then 2 months later, she'll be like, you want to get up with me, Rollo? I'm like, what? You just told me you're not interested in me. That's a trap. That's a trap. So I got to be very careful. I can't be moving just like go lucky, go happy, and say, oh, let me meet up with her. No, I'm careful what type of woman I meet up with. I'm careful because you could end up dealing with a broad like this. Let's go.
Psychological issues, some mental issues perhaps we can mitigate this, because even with the kidnapping, that's a first-degree felony punishable by life. And then you're looking at the robbery by sudden snatching. She was previously a felon, so you're looking at a violation of probation. You're also looking at a violation of the previously entered injunction. So she has so many charges.
Yeah, she should get life. She should get life. She should get life in prison. I'm agreeing. Now I agree with the attorney with that. She should get life. We're gonna rewind it back. Let me read what Brainwave said to those who can't see it. Fast, this is the same problem people have with us on YouTube. They're in their feelings and now trying to team up and attack us. And yes, I told plenty of women no. Yeah. Yeah. Because brainwaves, they say no woman be trying us. They say that. They don't have a clue, man. Listen again. Listen.
Even with the kidnapping, that's a first-degree felony punishable by life. And then you're looking at the robbery by sudden snatching. She was previously a felon, so you're looking at a violation of probation. You're also looking at how to take out a restraining order. The next thing I would do is to see if there's some mitigation factors, if there was some previous psychological issues, some mental issues. Perhaps we can mitigate this, because even with the kidnapping, that's a first-degree felony punishable by life. And then you're looking at the robbery by sudden snatching. She was previously a felon, so you're looking at a violation of probation. You're also looking at a violation of the previously entered injunction. So she has so many charges that may be in.
And you notice the shirt she was wearing, right? Look at the shirt she's wearing, the entity shirt. She's wearing the entity shirt. 2002. Wow, 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 wow. I'm telling you, man. Guys, don't get mad at me or Brainwaves or Ringo. My hands are clean, like the book of Ezekiel. Even Rollo, myself, went against jurisdiction, and it could have got me lined up and lost my life dealing with old girl last year. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is real, man. Look how they attacking Ringo. Look how they attacking Ringo every day. How they attacking Brainwaves. How they attacking me. You do not wish this on your worst enemy. Y'all don't realize how much we go through on this internet and off the internet, where you have to explain yourself to important people. Let me explain something to you, because Brainwaves could tell you this. Let me explain this to y'all. We have very important people in our lives that we don't know of and that we do know of. And they watching heavily. Don't let the numbers fool you. We have serious important people watch us who know us personally or have heard of us. And they watching who we connecting with. They know what's going on. And see, we got to be careful as men, because it's a stigma on us right now. Let me explain something to y'all. The world believes the black man's the easiest one to get in trouble. They believe that. You put a woman in front of him, you put a few drinks and cigars and all this other stuff, we got him. Now, I'm not against drinking. Now, cigars, is that's your cup of tea. They are natural cigars. I'm not going to say all cigars is planted. Some cigars are natural because some people need it to calm their nerves. I'm not going to get into all that right now. The point is that they will try to use anything against you as a man. We cannot move like a regular man. Having this woman around because of women like this. You got to remember, for you guys that's married, you got to protect your wives, not only by provision and protection from weird dudes and strange men. You got to protect her from these wild women out here that's trying to line you up and try to line her up because they want you for yourself. They will try to line up your wife to try to get with you. This stuff is real. Brainwaves will tell you this. This stuff is real. There's women out here will try to portray as the guy's wife. Yo, let me tell you something. When I was with my ex-wife, the Indian lady, that's from Jamaica. Her dad's Indian, her mom's is Jamaican, so-called Jamaican. Yo, there were women in the neighborhood that would like to dress like my ex-wife. Like seriously, they would try to get her to lie on me because you told me one time, "Oh, Raul, did you bring a woman in the house?" I said, "No, I don't bring women. I don't get down like that. I don't bring any woman in this house. If I'm going to do something, which that wasn't my intent, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be, you're going to know. It's going to be right in front of you." Um, but I will tell you one story that I know how legit it is. When we went to Maine to go see her family, you had this white, because them women in Maine, they love brothers. Oh, they into brothers. Um, we had a little bit of a disagreement, and the white woman smelled blood. She was all over me. Oh, she was all over me. And my ex-wife gave me that look like, what the hell is going on here? Um, there was one time I went to a club. I brought a lady to my place. We ain't do nothing. Of course, we ain't do nothing. I was smart. I said, "Oh, this is, man, I'm telling you, man, yo, these women are crazy out here, man. They will try you more. The more you get into something big, the more they're going to try you. Let's go."
In this case, with the overwhelming evidence, it may be good for her to mitigate as opposed to take something like this to trial.
Now, America was able to make contact with a witness who we're not identifying, but this person was definitely able to help, and thank goodness. The affidavit says Merica knocked on his window, asked to use his phone because someone took hers. As Merica was on the phone contacting law enforcement, she heard LaTrance leave. I asked Merica how she heard LaTrance leave, and she described the car to be a loud, small, silver sedan. Merica then walked behind the witness's vehicle because she saw LaTrance coming back around. I spoke with the witness who confirmed LaTrance got out of her vehicle and came up to him and asked if he had seen a female running. The witness then proceeded to ask LaTrance why she took Merica's phone, and all she could advise was she knows what she did. LaTrance then got back in her vehicle and parked in front of Building 3. The witness then told Merica she could come to his apartment until law enforcement arrived. So kudos to that witness for realizing something might be off, because Casey, another way, someone said, I don't want to get involved in this, or why should I believe the person that's coming to my door? But sometimes it takes that one person to really alter the course of these stories.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know how you will react in a certain situation. We always say if you see something, say something, but sometimes it does help if you get involved.
Today we are setting up this Chick-fil-A employee.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what you're going to say about this. Here we go.
In this case, it was really the efforts of the neighbor to step in, call authorities, and assist her in ultimately apprehending the defendant in this case.
And on the witness's phone, Merica ends up calling her husband Marlon. And this is where it gets interesting. Quote, as Merica was telling her husband what happened and described the female, Marlon advised it sounded like his ex-girlfriend, Tracy. And let me note something here. LaTrance's Facebook page identifies her as LaTrance Tracy Battle.
Mm-hmm. We're going to stop it right there. So he know that was his ex-wife. And this is why it's important to have receipts on people you deal with. I'm telling you, man, this is a wild one, y'all. They don't play in Florida. So if you come down here, like I said, you come down here with the nonsense, you're going to be learning a valuable lesson. And that's why I'm going to say this before I go, because I will continue the story later on today. A lot of people don't want to move to Florida for two reasons. One, because their sins will catch up to them a lot faster. And two, they're on demon time. That's why people will move to other parts of the South, I'm not saying everybody that's in the other southern states don't have righteous people, because they do. We will all agree, based on receipts, that other southern states have more sin than they do in Florida. People were like, why would you say that, Rollo? Now, let me ask you this question. Yes, there's sin in Florida, especially West Florida. However, there's not many sinners in Florida in comparison to the other southern states. You cannot tell me I'm lying. You cannot tell me I'm lying. They don't play that here. They don't play that. They clean up Miami. They clean up Miami ASAP, because Miami was getting hit with the sin, with the hurricanes and all that. Notice that Miami, you don't hear too much about Miami in the news lately, right? Why? Because they remove all the sinners. They're removing all the sinners in Tampa right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Florida is getting rid of the sinners. This is the state that is getting rid of the sinners. They are tired of people doing the same crime here, and now they're doing harsher penalties like they used to. And I noticed one thing a lot of people don't want to hear. Harsher penalties is what saves you from judgment from the Most High. A lot of people don't want to hear that. Harsher penalties saves you from judgment from the Most High. That's why Florida's number one. Not because of me, because of the people. Because the people here move correctly. That's why it's number one economically. Listen, y'all can say what you want. Follow the money. Follow the money. The money don't lie. I'm not telling you to worship the money. No, that's not what we do over here. Follow the money. Who's number one economically? Why is Orlando the number one city in America when we know we got Disney out here? Because DeSantis said, if you don't get rid of those perps out of Walt Disney, we shutting you down. Guess what Walt Disney did? They got rid of the perps. No cap. Now, I haven't been watching Disney Channel. I do got it on my Apple phone. I could look into to see what changes they made. You best believe they made changes in Walt Disney ASAP, because Walt Disney realized that the people in Florida said, we will shut your shit down and we will create our own activity at Universal. People don't realize Universal is growing in Orlando. And so what Disney did was took DeSantis and clean out the perp because it was getting hit hardest with the tornadoes, thunderstorms. Rides was not working. See, Florida's cleaning up, y'all. So that's why Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona, New Orleans, they got to clean up. Got to clean up and get rid of these entities. So that's pretty much about it. Thank y'all for tuning into the show. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank y'all for liking the video. Yeah, brainwaves, exactly. Thank y'all for liking the video. You know what I'm saying? If you send something to the Cash App, I'll shout you out on the next video. If you send something to the Vimo, I'll shout you out on the next video. I'll let y'all later on. Y'all take it easy and watch the video from yesterday, especially when Brainwaves came on as well on the panel. I'm going to watch the remaining of the Brainwaves video with that weirdo Goten and watch some, up-to-date news of what's going on out there. You tune into Floridian Rollo. I'm your host, Floridian Rollo. Brown Roy's, he to the people. Y'all be safe out